Hello, my name is Ray Frank. This is Know Your Stuff of Yetu, your home of entertainment and lifestyle fix. So, where I began was actually, this is actually a very interesting story. Some of my people know it, but I began back in high school. So, what would happen is, one time I saw an article in the newspaper, and it was basically about the first ever 3D game made. It was called Nairobi X. So when I saw it and I saw the developer next to the game, who was Andrew Kagia, I got inspired and I was wondering, how do you make this? So back in high school we didn't have a lot of resources, so the only way of getting access to a computer was a computer lab. So I would go there, research on how to make it, get tutorials on how to do it. So I would basically steal my laptop from the computer lab and then sneak it to dorm, and then in the night when people are studying, I'm busy trying to make games. So that's where the interest came from. Then slowly by slowly I got interested into making games, and then somewhere around 2018 is where I decided maybe I should try and make this as a profession. So I started slowly participating in hackathons, trying to see what works and what doesn't. Also trying to make video games and releasing it to the public, seeing how they react towards it. And yeah, that's where I can say where my journey started from. Yes, to some extent it did influence. I can say that I when I started making games, I also started liking other IT related things. So I did computer science, for example, in campus, and then now yeah, it just sparked my interest also in other things, into other fields like AI and all that. Yeah, I can say it did have an impact as well. So in the tech field, as of now, I'm currently doing a master's in software engineering. uh, I do a lot of artificial intelligence. I like deep learning. I have been playing around with machine learning, so it's very interesting how computers learn. It's different from humans because you have to feed it data and then it learns. Besides that, I've also been interested in augmented reality and virtual reality. Yeah, those are things I've also been interested in. Well, one thing in a game jam that you have to realize is that it's a very short time you have to build a game. So one thing you normally do is, it's not about building the best game, but rather building a game that offers something unique that is not available in the market. So that's what I can say the game jams are about. You need passion, I'd say that's the first one, because if you're not passionate, then what's the point? Then the next thing you need is resilience and tolerance, because in a game jam, you anytime you waste, let's say most game jams happen between 48 hours to 1 week. So anytime you take off from making your game, that's time going for you. So you have to sacrifice things like sleep, eating, showering, yeah, things like that. Okay, so game development is several things. So you've got the game design itself, which is the visual part, and then you've got the audio, what you hear, and then you've got the logic. So where the software engineering comes in is basically the logic. It helps me with the coding of the game. So when let's say when I want to incorporate object-oriented programming into my games, that's where I can see it comes in. Okay, so I'll first start with the opportunities. So there's a lot of opportunities in the game development space because it's a very new field. It's what I can say is very green. So there's lots of things, lots of opportunities for developers to grow, find themselves. What I can say the challenges are is that we're a bit divided. So you'd find most game developers are independent. Instead, if we worked together, we could be the next Electronic Arts, or let's say the next Infinity Ward. Yeah, that's how they started. So the challenges I can say is that we're a bit divided, but it's slowly getting there. I had a meeting with Xbox from Microsoft, and one of the COOs for Halo the game, she came and she was surprised that there's actually a gaming space in Kenya, and she really wanted to help the local game developers grow. So I can say that we are being seen out there, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So the type of genre I'm mostly passionate about is first-person games, because I like how it is very immersive, and the viewer or player sees themselves as if they are looking at themselves. So I like the immersiveness of first person. But other games that I'm also interested in, I like third person as well. Sometimes it's good to see a full body. Sometimes I also like a bit of racing. I do a lot of sim racing as well. So when I get a chance, I play F1. I play Forza Motorsport. Yeah, basically I can say I'm all-rounded. But my preference for games, I don't know if this will sound controversial, but I prefer single-player games to multiplayer because I like stories. Yeah. So they're both challenging in their own ways, because first person you have to make it truly immersive, and you have to make sure that the player is engaged. So the specific games I make actually is called true first person. So you're not just seeing the legs, the hands, you're basically seeing the body, the legs, the torso. It's basically third person, only just that you're seeing through the eyes. And they're both challenging in their own ways, so I can't really say that one is more challenging than the other. Yeah. So one thing I came to realize the hard way is that Kenyans are not very good at paying for things, especially if they are digital products. They're never good at paying. So how I monetize is I make the games free, anyone can play them, but then what I include are things like advertising into the game, in-app purchases. That's what I would say that I mostly monetize my games with, because I once tried a subscription-based model and not many people paid for that. I once tried also charging the game full price, but Kenyans find their ways to pirate these things, so there's...
So they pirated your game?
Yes. So I have two platforms, which are mainly... I'm adding a third one, but the two platforms I say is PC, Android, and the one I'm adding currently is Xbox. I recently got an Xbox license, so hopefully I'll port them to that as well. But for the PC, you can get them at Game Jolt. It's an independent development website where people can publish games. So if you just go to Game Jolt and search Raytech Games, you'll find all my games. And for Android, they're all on Play Store. So how I've done it is I've divided the two places. So Raytech Games is for PC focused games, and Raytech Interactive is on Play Store. So if you just search Raytech Interactive on Play Store, you'll find all my games from there. Yes, I do see potential for esports, because last year I had gone to Movie Jabba video game convention. I was actually among the organizers, and when I was genuinely surprised at how Kenyans are very competitive, and especially games like Tekken. I saw very competitive people who are really talented, and we even have a representative for Red Bull Kenya. Yeah, so I saw, when I looked at that, I saw there's something here definitely. And when I also remember trying to play, people have to separate playing from making games. So for example, I can make a very good game, but you'll beat me at it. In fact, I've had people in that video game convention, I had people play test my games, and for sure enough, they beat me at my own game. I know all the secrets, I know everything, but they just beat me. So the one thing I do is I try make them African, Kenyan as possible. So I will cover different stories. Most of my games are based on true stories. So you'll have Mau Mau the Uprising. It's about the Mau Mau Uprising. Then you'll have things like coup d'etat 1982 during the Moi coup. And then you will have also things like the Gulf War, things like those. So I will capture different events and try make them as African as possible. Like the next game I'm currently working on, aside from the Gen Z protests, it's basically about Boni Forest. So usually what happens in Lamu, there are like terrorists so I'm just capturing that story and how it's going to unfold.